Let's talk money, because all of these things we're talking about involve money, whether it's free SHS or 1D1F.
Yes.
I mean, everything is money. The E-Levy has come. Come the 1st of May, we're going to roll it out. We've heard from the GRA talking about moves, to initiate it. In fact, when you look at the Ministry of Finance, it recently posted something. Little drops of taxes create a mighty nation. E-Levy will bring the massive development we all want as a country. And that is what has been put there. Do you feel on the back of the E-Levy, as Dr. John Kuma has mentioned, I spoke to him the other day and he mentioned that we are no longer targeting 6.9 billion. Of course, we didn't start when we wanted to, and the rate has also dropped from 1.75 to 1.5. So we should look at anything between 4 and 5 billion. He actually gave an approximate of 4.5 billion. Can we get there? And for you, I mean, what would you hope to see on the back of the E-Levy if we get these sums of money?
Okay, so one thing is certain in my mind, that a lot of us will not change our behaviors with regards to how we use Momo or electronic transfers. I mean, the other day I had to wire, and I asked myself, would I rather sit in traffic to, Achimota to do a money transaction and then sit in traffic and come back, and actually the cost of transporting myself to Achimota and back, whilst I could be doing productive work, would I rather do that? And I said no. So I think a good number of Ghanaians will still maintain the use of their electronic wiring because of the convenience. And then I personally am more happy in the sense that we will see some infrastructural changes in terms of the technology that we're using. For instance, I keep reminding people that the downloading speed we have is quite bad if you've experienced something in the UKs and the Americas in terms of speed. When you're loading just even a file of music or a file of PDF file and things like that, the speed with which you get it, we're still far behind. So I think that, and I'm hoping, beautifully because of the use of the consolidated fund, all Ghanaians can really track and fully see how well the monies are utilized. And it puts the onus on the finance minister now, to come out every year in terms of accounting to Ghanaian people how and what our monies from the E-Levy has been used for. And I think John Kuma, Honorable John Kuma, Dr. John Kuma has been very realistic in terms of downgrading or downplaying the 6 billion that we initially anticipated. And I'll also use this platform to thank the opposition party to a large extent, because the E-Levy we had in November of 2021 is not the E-Levy we have in April 2022. Right. In the sense that they pushed finance minister to the wall to that extent, and he made some adjustments for the Ghanaian people. And also, I thank finance minister for really listening in the sense that from the town hall meetings, he gathered the sentiments of the Ghanaian people and did the needed adjustments. People
still feel you bulldozed your way through. But Dr. Apah, quickly, your take on the E-Levy. It rose on May the 1st. Will it serve its purpose, do you think?
Well, we'll wait to see. But let me put on record that we are still opposed to it. Just because it passed doesn't mean that we support it.
So you agree that it has passed? You agree that it has passed?
Allegedly.
I was
if we agreed, we will not be in court.
No, I was commending you.
I don't need to be commended because we don't agree. We don't support it.
But you still made some impact, or you don't think so?
You may have had your way. No, we did our advocacy, but our advocacy was a total rejection.
Hello?
A total rejection.
Oh,
so even if it has come into being at 0.001, we are still opposed.
Do you advocate that maybe the consolidated fund would benefit in a way?
GRA?
We are opposed to it, and we are opposed to it for the same reasons then.
Those were
for the same reasons now.
Changes
okay, so he says they are totally opposed to it.
It has come into being. We are now looking at the implication. Is it going to solve all the challenges that we have?
No.
That is what they said.
No.
It had become the one cap fits all, ACOBAM. If your stomach...
What? Akubam?
Akubam, yes.
Unaya
oya, E-Levy. Utiya oya, E-Levy. Wawantuomya oya, E-Levy. But you told us that this was supposed to take care of supporting youth in the area of employment.
Right. I think
Dealing
you
with
start
infrastructure,
some road infrastructure.
And then later
You will
they
see
added
it,
the procurement of buses. You see, when he says that people are not going to change their attitude, he is speaking about this from his perspective. Attitudinal change depends on context and circumstances. So where you are sitting and where I am sitting, we may not see this as impactful negatively as far as our finances are concerned.
Right.
But others will, and that is why people are drawing their monies.
Okay.
It is happening.
So your expectations are pretty low when it comes to the E-Levy.
We want to see what happens.
You want to see what happens.
But we are slow post.
To wrap the conversation, in fact, the next conversation we're going to be having, we're going to have a bit of analysis on state-owned enterprises. And I just want to pick your 1 minute, 40-second thoughts on this right before we segue into that conversation. State-owned enterprises, we all know, they've not fared too well. Right from maybe Nkrumah till now, they had it together, and then all of a sudden, after Nkrumah, things just became, things were dissipated. Some have suggested that the likes of Kwame Pianema and others have spoken that there are some core ones, like water, Ghana Water Company Limited, Electricity Company of Ghana, and a few of them. Keep those. All the rest that are non-performing, let them go. Quick take. 40 seconds each, it's a wrap.
I think that will be detrimental to our country.
But we are bleeding money year in, year out. Billions.
Some level of change, yes, but not this drastic. And for instance, there's value in certain things that we do not pay homage to. For anthropology. You and I may say the anthropology department at
University of Ghana
should be squashed. But let me say with authority that anthropology was used in making the keyboard, in making the mouse So it's just that we may not appreciate some of these state institutions, but minus them, we'll have conflicts in this country.
We'll be all the West.
Minus them, we'll have issues. So I think, yes, some, and how can America run without FEMA? Although it bleeds America a lot. Housing is a big issue.
Right.
Do we want more homelessness? Because the State Housing Corporation obviously has not been added to the, but it's all about food, shelter, and health.
Basic needs.
Basic needs. So I respect him a lot, but sometimes I think he's a bit too much in terms of his economic.
And I wasn't just citing him. I mean, he's touched on, he's broached the subject. But
I think we need a fair balance.
Fair balance, right.
To some
Doc, to wrap the conversation.
Well, I think it should be on a case-by-case basis. An evaluation ought to be done for us to identify the strategic
10 minutes.
Institutions that we should keep as a state. But there also has to be some standard and benchmarks. Why is it that some state-owned enterprises are thriving, making profits and paying dividend to the state, and yet others are not? That is a question that we need to answer.
Okay.
And then find out whether or not those that are constantly registering negatives in terms of making losses
can be salvaged.
Whether they can be salvaged. If they cannot be salvaged, perhaps we should divest them.
Okay.
But it should be based on an evaluation.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been good connecting.
So we agree on this one.
Dr. Apak, it's been quite a while, so refreshing to see you after so
We are very realistic.
Dr. Clement Apak, a Member of Parliament for Wilsa South, also on the Education Committee of Parliament. Dr. Dixon Adumaku-Kisi, Member of Parliament for Anyaso Utum. And both of them are also on the Public Accounts Committee.
In fact, this week, early next week, we are starting our regional tour
in Tamale.
We'll start from the northern sector.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Okay. All right.
It will eat Tozafi and...
more power to your elbows, gentlemen. So up next, we're going to be bringing you the state of affairs when it comes to some of our state-owned enterprises. But right before that, right before we take the break, did you know that the income of a young entrepreneur from some selected businesses is exempt from tax for 5 years? Any young entrepreneur engaged in manufacturing, information and communications technology, agro-processing, energy production, waste processing, tourism and the creative arts, horticulture and medicinal plants does not need to pay income tax on these activities for their first 5 years of operation. A young entrepreneur engaged in business that enjoys an initial 5-year concession benefits from the following applicable tax rates for an additional 5 years. Accra and Tema, you enjoy 15%. Other regional capitals outside the 3 northern regions, 12.5%. Outside the other regional capitals, 10%. And in the 3 northern regions, 5%. If you want clarity, reach out to your nearest GRA office and get it. Ghana Revenue Authority, of course, integrity, fairness, and service. We take a break, and when we return, there's more coming your way. Do stay.